it's Kathy with Real Positive Change, motivation to take you from where you are to where you want to go. Yes, and if you can hear that bark in the background, that is my husband's German Shepherd. That is his baby, so you will probably hear him barking every once in a while. What I decided to do is take one of my personal journals here and add some of the uh, creative moments that I'm wanting to add to some of my future journals. And so I had some thoughts that came that I had written down, and I thought I want to get this into this journal, but I wanted it also to just bring in a little bit of the creative fun with it at the same time and not just write it. This is a very inexpensive journal. I picked it up at the dollar store, but as you see, as I close it and open it, the outside, the cover is completely redone by myself. I did take that. It was, like I said, it was just a cheap journal, but what I did is I covered it with some of the paste that you can build with, and then added lace to it and different kinds of glued objects on it, and went back over that and painted on the front of it. If you'd like, I can do a video on that at a later date and show you how I did that. That was a very fun, a really a lot of fun to do that activity, to do that cover. There goes my face, my head in the way. I'm sorry, but I'm trying to measure this off, and I'm not one to sit there and calculate very much, as far as going inch by inch. I just get a general idea and cut away. So what I'll end up doing is going back and having to trim this. But the first one, that when I put in the first paper, the first page, I did it in one long sheet and then just closed the book so that it was completely bent and creased on where that needed to go. As you can see, it's that colorful flower right there. But this next one, I decided to do the pages individually. And so that's why I'm having to go back and recut, remeasure, fix it up. It takes me quite a bit longer to do this sheet than I did the other one. I thought it would be easier, but in the long run, it really wasn't. So there I am. I'm still trying to put it in. I'm still trying to measure it off and get it measured. We've got quite a few minutes here, or seconds, I guess I should say, of going back and forth. Now, as I'm gluing, what I'm using is just a good old school glue, an Elmer's stick glue, and gluing that right down. It's quite sticky. I get it all over my fingers, and I find that it sticks to the pages, and so I'm having to lift it up and redo it, but eventually I do get it in there. And of course I close the book, mash it down, make sure it's closed, that it's adhering to itself very well. I'm going to go back, and now I need to measure the opposite side. And so it takes me quite a little bit of time to sit there and measure all that and to go back through it and get that just right. But I do accomplish the task, and I do get it cut down and get it put inside there. Now, I I kept trying to get it to bend down and go inside the crease so that you wouldn't see any of the white of the pages. This other one that had the pink and blue and yellow flowers on it, like I said, it was just one sheet of paper cut to size, and then as I put it in, I bent the book closed so that I would get a really nice crease. And it seemed to work a lot easier, a lot better than having to just individually cut each sheet. As you can tell, I didn't get that glued very well, so I had to go back in, add some more glue to it, and here I go. I'm now finishing putting on the glue on this other side and getting it all stuck in there. It's nice, isn't it, to be able to have a glue stick and to be able to use that. That gets stuck all over my fingers. There we go. And it takes me quite a bit of time to get it measured and back and forth. I keep taking it off, redoing it, resizing it, and getting it stuck in there. And then once I do, I'm able to crease it in. As you can tell, I'm trying to get it right down into that center. I want it in the center so you don't see the white of the pages, and it looks like it's seamless. As it's closed, you got a glimpse there again of that cover, and the paste. It's that simple paste that you can actually paint on, and it modeling. I have to go back and look for it, and I'll post it down the bottom. I can't remember what it is right now, but here I am trimming the pages again. and getting it ready for me to go ahead and write and put in the inscription and what I want. I keep trying to get it folded down and get it just right. Now I'm trying to find some kind of washi tape to be able to use. But before I put that on, I decided to go ahead and record my thoughts and get those put down in the journal. And so I begin writing them down. And first, I just end up writing on that side of scripture that I had come across and some of the thoughts that came to that with that scripture. And as I continue on, and I had recorded it in my phone, and so I wanted to get it out of there. Have you ever put anything in your phone and then all of a sudden you go back to find it and it's gone? Maybe it's been erased, or you just can't remember exactly which file you stuck it in or where you put it in. Yes, I've had that, and I thought I need to be able to. I really wanted to hold on to these thoughts, and so I wanted to get them put into my journal. I've enjoyed doing more of these creative journals, being able to add some spark of color and some interest to it rather than just writing things out, giving it some sort of a little bit of twist, something interesting to look at. Now I go ahead and I pretty much fill up this page with the information and the thoughts that came to my mind with that one. I was thinking about, as I was writing this, I was thinking about how it's so easy to get started with a project. And when you start with a project, you get enthusiastic. Well, this is me. I don't know. I get enthusiastic. I give it my all. And I work on it for a while, but then it seems like I lose interest and I want to go on and try something different. And so that's probably why I have several different journals that I use right now. I've got a large one that's 8.5 by 11, and it's actually a sketchbook with really nice paper inside. And this book, this is just a little tiny 5 by 7, if even that. It's probably a 4 by 6. But I like to keep some of my more personal thoughts in it, and it's nice to be able to have it. I keep it by my bedside so that as things come into my mind, then I can stop and write those in. So I'm just about finished recording my thoughts in here and some of the impressions that I have, and I'm getting ready to start putting on the washi tape and figuring out, now what color am I going to use? I really liked this particular washi tape that I had come across. The little saying on it says, "Be wonderful." And I love that. I love that little saying, "Be wonderful." So I go ahead and I stick that down across the top, and then I go down on one side with just, first I was going to try to put that "Be wonderful" down there, and then I realized it's too wide. So I decided to go ahead and put it across the top on both sides, and then I got a thin gold strip of washi tape, and that's what I use. Right now I'm actually having trouble getting it open, but I use that to go down the sides of the page just to add that little bit of sparkle, and it ties into the gold lettering on the "Be Wonderful" washi tape. Get that all finished up and trim it up just a little bit, and there it is. Nice little way. It gives a little bit of color and record some of the thoughts in there. I went back and I went ahead and put a date on it. I've been notorious to not always put dates on my things, and then I go back and I think, when on earth did I ever write that? This one I came across, I had some rainbow washi tape, and it kind of reminded me of the rainbow salmon for whatever. I don't know if any of you have ever gone fishing and have actually fished in cold water and caught rainbow trout. As a kid, I remember going up with my grandfather, my grandmother and grandfather, and we would go up into Idaho, into Yellowstone, and we would, well, I was young at that time, and so any kind of fishing pole that I would hold wouldn't be amount up to too much of anything. And many times my brothers would get a hold of a fishing pole that he had given to them, and off it would go into the water. So I don't know, it was probably more work to take his fishing than it was to really get anything accomplished, but it sure did create good memories and things that I look back on and I remember. Anyway, here I go. I've found 2 complimentary washi tapes. Like I said, I put the rainbow, I'm going to call it rainbow trout, but I put that right down the center. And then I came back with another one that complemented it. And this one particular, what it had written on it was a couple of sayings and the sayings were like this moment, and the other side I put on there, it said perfect way to spend the day. Here I go. Now I went ahead and repeated that be wonderful on that left side, as you can see, and I've got right above that, hooray, hooray. And I'm sorry, my head gets in the way right here during this particular part because I'm leaned over and wanting to get this written in there. I had actually written it out on some notepad, and I wanted to make sure that I kept, sometimes I'll get writing, and I don't know about you, have you ever been writing along and then all of a sudden you realize that you missed a line or you jumped down a line or two? And so as you can tell, I'm stopping very carefully as I'm going through, and I'm making sure that I'm getting the words in the order that I had written them out. So it takes me a little bit of time to actually record this down there, but I do eventually get it down. One of the thoughts that I put in here is I was thinking one day about how a lot of times we can have experiences that cause us to not necessarily be able to trust. We feel unsafe. So when another situation pops up that makes us remember or reminds us of that previous situation, then we step right back into that lack of trust. And I was thinking about this, and I was recording about how that's actually a waste of time, because each day, each moment is a fresh new day, fresh new moment, something that we start off with. And a lot of times we'll bring in the past or bring in the old memories, and we end up reliving those in present day. And I love the word present. It means current, but if you think about it, each day is a present, just like Christmas. So as I start out each morning, I usually, before I wake up, or well, actually I do wake up, and as I wake up, I've made it a habit to stop and to tell myself this is going to be a great day, and I'll run that saying through my mind a couple of times. This is going to be a great day. This is going to be a great day. And it almost sounds like I'm trying to convince myself to get out of bed, but that's not necessarily true. However, though, in the wintertime it is, because it's so cold that you want to stay under those covers. But it's mostly just to get kind of the energy going, the boost going, because you know when you wake up you're a little groggy and you're a little tired, and I don't drink coffee, so I don't have something that kicks the day off. Other than this little saying that I like to say to myself. And it does. It kind of perks up the day and helps me to get going. Now, as you can see, I've about finished my writing. I've gone back and I'm adding a little bit more there. And then eventually what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll add to it little things up in the top corner. But I did not post that in this particular one. I appreciate you looking and watching on with me.